In the language of the mining industry, the two most important words are safety and productivity. And what we're going to show you in the next few minutes is one of the most important safety and productivity developments in underground mining for many years. Thinking safety, thinking productivity, think Rock Mesha. The Rock Mesha system from Rock Australia is the world's first mechanised chain-link mesh handler for underground support applications. The high tensile Brook mesh can be applied by most standard jumbos without the operator leaving the cab. The mesh is rolled into position mechanically, pinned in place, and finally bolted into position. Here is some footage of the Rock Mesha system at work in a Western Australian mine. Time taken to install the mesh was reduced by up to 50%, and the cost of installation was cut by 24%. But most importantly, the operator was not required to manually move the mesh into position or work on unsupported ground. Let's take a look at the system in more detail in this factory demonstration. The Mesha is a bolt-on component that can be fitted to most standard jumbos in just a couple of hours during routine maintenance. All that's required are 2 spacer plates, 2 mounting points, and a simple addition to the jumbo's hydraulic system. With these modifications in place, the Mesha arm is picked up by the jumbo and quickly secured to the feed holder. Before entering the area to be secured, the operator picks up a cartridge of mesh. This contains 3 lengths of mesh totalling up to 30 metres, which can be supplied in a variety of widths. The machine positions the first section of mesh, which is pinned in place before being bolted in pre-drilled holes. This is repeated with the roof section and the final wall section. This is done in half the time of a conventional manual installation and without the operator leaving the cab. When the equipment is not being used to install the mesh, the jumbo can be used for normal drilling with the mesh arm still in place. That's a quick review of the revolutionary Mesha system from Rock Australia. Let's now summarise the benefits. Mesha is an important safety advance. It eliminates manual handling of heavy sheets of mesh in confined spaces, and the jumbo operator is virtually never exposed to working on unsupported ground in the danger area in front of the machine. The system is simple to operate. In the first commercial operation in Australia, all 4 jumbo operators involved were up to speed within hours of being introduced to the process. The Mesha system can cut the time taken using conventional methods by up to half. In areas where shotcreting would normally be the way to go, the time saving can be as high as 70%. The system produces an overall cost saving of 24% against welded mesh installation and more than 80% over shotcrete. Further cost savings can be made by ordering the Brook high tensile mesh in widths specially produced to suit the advanced length of any mine. Initial installation of the system can be completed in 2 hours, and the arm can be removed and replaced literally in minutes. And importantly, normal drilling operations can be carried out with the Mesha arm in place. Rock Mesha. It's a significant advance in ground support technology, and it could be raising the safety and productivity bars at your mine within months. Why not give Rock Australia a call today?
In the second part, we are going to show you important facts about the Brook high tensile mesh to be used together with the Mesha mechanized installation handler. The Brook Diltax G80 3mm chain link mesh is manufactured of a 3mm high tensile steel wire. Deltax is supplied in rolls which cover the entire advance length and drive size. One cartridge of the Mesha mechanized installation handler will contain the mesh for 2 to 3 advance lengths. Deltax is a lightweight replacement of weld mesh sheets or heavy chain link mesh. For high-stressed, rock bursting or squeezing ground, the Teco G80 4mm chain link mesh is supplied. Both mesh types have a tensile strength of 1,770 newtons per square millimeter. They can carry much higher static and dynamic loads than traditional reinforcement mesh. For an optimal load transmission from the rock bolts to the mesh, a specially developed three-dimensionally shaped spike plate is available. The GeoBrook meshes are protected with the GeoBrook Ultra Coating Zinc Aluminium Coating. Comparison tests with galvanized wires demonstrate in salt spray tests a 10 times longer working life for wires treated with ultra coating. Laboratory tests conducted by the Western Australian School of Mines, WASM, have confirmed the superior performance of the GeoBrook meshes. A Deltax mesh panel loaded with 300 by 300 mm steel plate was able to bear a load of up to 50 kilonewtons before it failed at the edge of the loading plate. A weld mesh panel, 5.6 mm 100 by 100 in the same constellation, failed at 40 kilonewtons, and a mild steel chain link mesh failed with less than 20 kilonewtons. The Teco mesh in the same constellation was able to bear a load of 110 kilonewtons. With the momentum transfer method, a Teco mesh panel mounted on a loading frame was able to bear a falling weight impact energy of 10 to 12 kilojoules. This is equal to a rock mass of 1,000 kilograms accelerated to 4 to 5 meters per second. For a welded wire mesh in the same constellation, the energy absorption capacity was in the range of 1 to 2 kilojoules only. A finite element software allows to simulate and vary the dynamic response of any project boundary conditions for setup and loading. It considers the entire system, with the mesh, the system's spike plate, as well as the selected rock bolts, and allows to vary the rock bolt pattern and ground conditions. GeoBrook Deltax and Teco high tensile chain link mesh installed with the Mesha mechanized installation handler system represents a new approach to ground support. The Mesha mechanized installation handler will be supplied with the selected GeoBrook mesh. No capital investments will be required. Depending on the mesh quantity purchase order, one or several Mesha handlers will be supplied at no cost. Why not contact the GeoBrook engineers and discuss your mesh requirements? GeoBrook AG Geohazard Solutions, Romanshorn, Switzerland protect people and infrastructures from rockfall, slope instabilities, debris flow, and avalanches.